Hey, Heel Squad with Maria Menounos fans. It's not Maria Menounos. It's Mr. Maria Menounos subbing in for my beautiful and talented wife. She's having a wicked, awesome summer. I'm here for part 2 with my interview with Psychic Jusstine Kenzer over at psychicgirl.com. Last episode, I know we went deep on, my goodness, EMF, mold, energy and objects around you. A lot, but this one was a gold mine. Natasha was kind enough to bring us. Thank you, Natasha. And part 2, I've got pages and pages of other things I want to go over with you. Dwayne was mentioning, after we did part 1, Dwayne wanted to talk about mold and coffee. Because that's become kind of a hot button.
Yes, thanks to Dave Asbury.
Right, yeah, mold and coffee beans. He's been on the show before.
Yeah, he's great.
Just recently, actually.
Yeah, and
he just got a Therify, from what I understand.
He got a Therify. Got it. A Therify is
that's that technology that takes the trauma out of every cell.
Right, that we talked about in part 1. Mold and coffee.
Yeah.
So, you were talking to Dwayne about it, and you know mold's in a lot of foods, and it's one of the reasons why I don't have mushrooms.
Yeah.
It's because I'm thinking fungus. We
want to stay away from anything fungal. All these people drinking kombucha night and day, God bless you. What is going on with, who wants to drink a bottle of fungus?
And for that reason, I'm out. I know, but Dwayne's, he's been asking about it a lot.
Yeah, mold and coffee is a real thing.
Yeah.
And even I wish I was better about it. I mean, I am right now making my own cold brew with what is supposed to be coffee that doesn't have mold. But again, they don't show us the tests. So how do we really know?
Yeah, like the companies like Bulletproof and that they say they don't have it, but they don't show the data.
And then Dave's got a new coffee he just launched, I guess, and I would think that he would. That his.
I mean, listen, it's a try. It's right. It's like it's something.
Yeah.
I want to get back into real estate and objects and energies, and I have a lot of data. I told you before in part 1 about the house I bought, but I've also seen it with my in-laws' house, and we just redid our kitchen.
Okay.
And expanded it, opened it up, really got any of the old parts of this house out. And I'm telling you, the energy, we had a daughter, my first birthday for my daughter, Natasha, was there. And didn't the energy feel different in there?
So different and so beautiful. Like I was thinking in my mind, imagine it was the old way. That would have been such a different event.
Yes. Right.
Just completely like it was so beautiful. The space was just so inviting, and everyone sitting around the big counter.
Kitchens are the living rooms now.
Yes, they are.
And so light.
But in light, and it brought light in. I can't say enough, and I don't know if there's anything psychic attached to it, but I know the energy of the house is different. I knew with the baby, we're gonna have a lot of people, in-laws staying here, friends staying. It was just, and there was one part of the kitchen that everyone just got cramped in, making toast, coffee, and I'm like, that is a stressor. We can't. That's just. Life is always stressful enough. I want to remove that. So I come at it from that place. But I will say, when what you're saying to me speaks to me, because I've seen a difference in the fact that we expanded, modernized.
The whole house actually feels different.
Yeah, I'm sure that
right.
I'm thinking
how
about
the energy flows. I'm sure it's all affected.
So we took one old place in the back, and I also renovated that, and then. It's all new, and there's not a lot of objects in there. And I'm talking about the guest house. And that feels really good. Yeah. It never felt good. You go in there and you just feel good.
It's awesome.
And so I keep reminding my wife, like, just see how good you feel in here. Like, this is what we need to have.
But Kev, I even think as I'm thinking back on yesterday now, as you walk into the front door of your house, which you cannot see what you've done in the back, feels different.
It feels different.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, look, there's a difference. If you're going to go hang out at the Beverly Hills Hotel in the Polo Lounge, or you're going to go hang out at some dark, seedy bar somewhere, there's a huge difference in what that's going to feel like. it's very real, like space, like everything is energy, right?
So this house, before, so there was I'm a history major, so I love history. So we had I think it was back when it was probably this neighborhood was just filled with horses back in the 30s. And I think there was where the tennis court is now, there was a barn.
Yeah.
And it's a farmhouse. It's not one of the McMansions. So it doesn't have the high ceilings. It doesn't have all the square footage. It's sad because if we sell it, they'll knock it down. Probably put up 3 giant McMansions. But for us and our personalities, we just love it. But when I go over the history of the house, there was I think it was a doctor, and then from there it was the people that owned a company out here called DIY, which was it's like a poor man's Home Depot or Lowe's, like that thing, like a local version. I think there's only 1 or 2 stores left, but it used to be pretty big. And
there's one in Burbank, right?
That's right.
Yeah, I know.
And one of the things they did, they're a very nice family, because some family members have come up and seen us out at restaurants and said, oh, and I'm like, oh my God, tell me about the house. Other than they would take old material, like leftover material. So it was like, oh, the bricks mismatched. I mean, it was just like that. A lot of stuff it's still signs of it. I still haven't been able to clean up, but nice. But then after that, there was a woman, I mean, literally when she was divorced, I think, medicating heavily.
She seemed very sad. That's what I saw right away when you were talking about there was a very sad woman.
Yes, and to the point that her housekeeper negotiated us to buy the house because the housekeeper wanted to be released from her.
Wow.
I mean, literally, like, we opened the door. She's like, yeah, the housekeeper's like, this is the master bedroom. And the lady's in there, like, sleeping. Like, she's like...
That's pretty heavy, that energy.
It was very heavy, right? So you still feel... tell me what the feel is on this place.
Just like when you were just started talking and I was just looking at what's going on, it's like the energy of a really sad, depressed woman. So... very heavy, not fun to look at.
No.
So, but look, when we drink and we do drugs, we're opening ourselves up to, they don't call alcohol spirits by accident. These actually have a spirit to them. That's why I'm not a big fan of, it's so in fashion to go do ayahuasca and all these different things now. And I have just spent a lot of time, I've cleaned up a lot of people that go have these experiences that get something attached to them after that. And I, have to clean them up of what they've picked up. But, it's so when people don't realize addiction is a lot of an energy that attaches to someone and really feeds off of them. And even when they get sober, it can be like a dry drunk and they're still acting the same way because they still have this energy feeding off their life force versus, sometimes people get cleaned up and it's different.
By the way, for anyone who doesn't know dry drunk, explain dry drunk, because I see...
what that just means is they're not
using.
Drinking, but they still have these same traits or actions when they were, because it's not when you're dealing with an addict, it's not just that person, it's now them and anything that's attached to them. It's why they're so unpredictable and why you don't know who you're going to get, because it's like you're dealing with more than one person or one personality in that person's space. It really is everything, because it's energetic and everything has a spirit to it, whether it's water or alcohol.
I never heard that alcohol,
many invisible things that we don't know are affecting us.
Alcohol equals spirits. I mean, yeah, and I have been told that drugs and alcohol are a gateway for dark demonic energy, and I've seen it.
And again, how vulnerable or weak you are, or how strong you are, it's the difference of why someone can drink and handle their alcohol well, and another person can't.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I've also heard that sex is a gateway of energy.
Look, it is, people are so caught up in believing that what they feel is what their reality is. And we really cannot trust our feelings. Now look, there's what you were talking about of walking into a room and not feeling good and trusting your gut to get out. But there are people who believe that what they feel for another person, that just because they feel a certain way or attraction toward this person, or they had sex that was so incredible that that's just this, that it's all meant to be or supposed to be, they're not stopping to ask, is this coming from a dark or a light place? Like, it might feel wonderful, but that is the dark just sinking its hooks into you and feeding off your life force energy. A lot of times a woman will get into a relationship and she was very healthy or she was doing well financially, and then all of a sudden she gets very sick, or her prosperity completely like goes to excuse my French. It's very easy to be negatively affected by the energy of other people. So again, people, no one's teaching us this stuff, right?
No.
It's because this gives you power, and it gives you an awareness and helps you to be in a better relationship with yourself and the world. And look at the world is set up for everyone to be slaves, unfortunately.
Right. Yeah. So, you don't make any money off that.
Yeah.
You make more money off us needing an outside source.
Yeah. So just because we want to get into relationships where there is mutuality. What you want from that person, they want to give you, and vice versa. And that coming together, that you heal each other and build something versus someone just sucking the life out of you. So sex isn't always this gateway for the dark, but most people are not having sexual relationships in a monogamous situation with someone where it's a mutual healing, rewarding, situation. Most people are just all caught up in that physical desire and how that is going to bring them some, most people also believe that their wholeness and their happiness depends on another person when unfortunately that's not the truth. I mean, it is incredible. Our goal in life is to break the cycle of coming back over and over again. There's only so many hundreds and hundreds of past lives we can have before we want to master life and death and move from human into mastery. That's really what Jesus and Buddha and these greatest minds of the universe have done before us, and what we're here to do. And so, people aren't aware of that, and they're just really caught up in most people are in pain and they're trying to get out of pain immediately. So what is going to help with that? Drinking or having sex or, escaping
even consumerism,
their life. Yeah.
All of it.
Yeah. God, there goes me taking the woo out of all of this.
Yeah, but to me, it really makes
we want to look
so
for
much sense.
Science meeting spirituality, and we really want proof and evidence. That's the thing, is anyone can tell you anything. And I also tell people, with anyone being able to tell you anything is really just another human's consciousness, another person like you who's come up with some idea, and they might have put it in a book or put it on the internet, but it doesn't mean that's the highest truth. We want to really, if we're trying to master, we want to go to master consciousness. We want to find the truth about these things, which, most religion on this planet has been changed so that once again, you don't have power, so that you can be controlled.
How has religion been changed? And I have my theories about man-made religion, but tell me.
Yeah, well, hi, I'm not God, but again, no one was following anyone around when the Bible or the Torah was written with a recorder. So we don't know what man has actually changed and then called to be the truth. We don't know. So
I feel like we've taken the words of the Jesuses, the Buddhas, and things like that, and then we use it for whatever our convenience is.
Yeah, we want to, as you search, and again, a lot of people will come to me for a reading and they think just because they ask a question that automatically I should be able to give them the answer and that is it. When really, again, everything is seek and you shall find. And your reading with me actually is all about your relationship with yourself, and have you done the work karmically to be able to earn the right to having that answer. It's not for me to solve all your problems and just give you the answers of how to go live your life. But if you're in a great relationship with yourself, you can come have a reading with me, and absolutely divine intervention can happen, and we can get these incredible answers that are huge and life-changing and solve problems. But, if you're just someone who wants to come get a reading with me and want me to tell you what corner to stand on to meet your soulmate and what he's going to be wearing.
You're looking, like, I've had friends, I'm like, no, you're just looking for cotton candy.
Yeah. And I've done a lot of predicting, relationships and having, I've got a great track record with whatever I do, but I don't read everyone that comes to me because I'm not the psychic for everyone. I really am about helping people that have done, that are more conscious and who want to work on themselves, because there's no cheating and there's no getting through. Like, so again, I could give you an answer, but you still have to like do the work to help yourself take the next step. So there's a lot of misperceptions, unfortunately. Every place out there with a neon sign and what we've seen on TV about psychics isn't necessarily the reality of how.
Well, you said something
works.
about us having to do the work and having a good relationship with ourselves. So what are some of the things that will indicate having a good relationship with oneself, and then what work can we do? Or do your clients need to do?
We just want to be aware that you have more than your physical body. We are having, it's about your spirit, because your body is temporary. And as you study spiritually, your own intuitive and healing abilities will just naturally unfold. I don't believe in teaching everyone to be psychic. This isn't a game. There are lots of people out there there are lots of psychics out there that teach other people how to be psychic. That's actually quite dangerous, because again, you're becoming a target for these energies. If you don't know how to protect yourself and what you're dealing with, it can start to become a dangerous thing. Even for me, I know this is different than what you asked, but this is where this is going. Yeah. In doing this for 35 years and what I have studied, people have this expectation that I should know everything, right? Which I'm human and I don't know everything. I'm here to, again, master like everyone else. But I've had to go through, my own lessons of learning and building and mastering things that I can in my life. So it's just whatever you want to create a relationship with your own guides and teachers, if you believe in that, and really ask for what the next step is for you to be able to find the highest truth. We're really just searching for that highest truth versus believing some stuff that people put on the internet and human consciousness. We want to search for master consciousness is where we want to learn from.
Yeah, I think that's a kind of a good, Cliff Note version. If you if you go to a psychic and you're searching for the highest truth, then you'll probably it'll be most productive rather than where's the lottery ticket?
Well, and to
the winning lottery ticket, what I mean?
I'll tell you one of the how to know if psychic is genuine. You want to search for one of three things, which is if in your reading that you've had, does it inspire the truth seeker? Does it heal the sick? And does it provide comfort for someone who is mourning? One of those three things has to be present in order to know that the psychic or medium that you're working with is genuine. If it doesn't, if anyone tries to put you in fear or tries to, tell you that you've got a hex or a spell on you or anything like that, it really should inspire you versus frighten you. If it does, you're dealing with someone who's just trying to have control over you and it's not what this is truly about.
So when I was doing this show called The Tomorrow Show, it was a late night show.
Okay.
For fun, I would do different things to talk about. So I went to one of the psychics with the neon sign.
I'm sorry.
And she said to me, you have a terrible curse on you. It's so bad. I can't even believe it. I had to hide my animals and this, that, and the other thing. I literally had to call someone to come be here. It's really bad.
Did you believe it?
And well, she said to me, and this is going to be with you the next 10 years. And my response, which was half joking, but I was serious, I said, so in 10 years, this is over? I'm finally done with all of this? This is amazing. So bad. Her face got, wait, no, that's not the point. I'm like, oh, thank you so much. Yeah, but because I was so excited, yes, I've been in pain for so long. I could do 10 years. I could do that in my sleep. Yeah. It's like my friends who have gone to jail. They're like, what, 5 years? I get a free, 3 hots and a cot? I'm good. So I was like, I'm fine. But going to your point, now you've made me realize she was trying to scare me.
Of course, psychic ability is just a muscle, which anyone can build that muscle. And those, a lot of those, which they're gypsies and they're born and bred to learn how to cold read, and they're just from birth they're really like criminals without guns, basically.
Yeah.
But
I feel it. In Greece, there's a lot of them that when we go over there and they hang outside the restaurants, and they just know I'm the easiest target.
Yeah.
And there was a couple that literally stood in front of a window while I was eating and just pointing at me and just him. Yeah. And just, You know,
Look, you are here to overcome your karma, which means at some point in your life,
why?
you've
I
done
don't want
something.
Dwayne's not here to over. Why is Dwayne just get a pass? Dwayne's here to play video games, be happy, make music. Why do I have to be the one over my
At some point in time,
karma?
just again, if anybody is like concerned, not that, you can actually curse yourself or it's all just energy and thought forms with power behind it. And these things can be cleaned up. Not that you would want to give your money to one of those people, because again, psychic ability is a muscle, so anyone can develop it. But when you go to a gym, they don't actually ask you if you have integrity or not. So somebody, just because they have a psychic ability doesn't mean that they are using it for good and God, right? So that's why we want to look for one of those things that is present. But
Dwayne, it's like the bad
here.
X-Men, right, Dwayne? It's like the evil X-Men, right? So you've got the good X-Men, the good mutants and the bad mutants.
Very much.
I'm just trying to keep Dwayne involved in the conversation.
Dark versus light, but you're here to overcome all this stuff so that you can master. And the closer you get to that, the more all this stuff happens. Why can't I just
be here to drink and have fun? Why do I have to?
Yep.
Yes, Dwayne, you can speak. Go ahead. Why do I have to
just want to say, I was just about to pay for a psychic for my girlfriend, like thousands of dollars. And she did the exact same tactic, everything.
Did a psychic take her for money?
The negative things. She went for all of the fear tactics.
But that's what they do.
Dwayne, what do I say? Dwayne, what do I say? Don't what?
I've cleaned a lot
of
people.
What?
I hope.
Don't improvise. You've got me in your life. You come to me like what? Like I know everybody.
No, I know.
Why would you?
It's because we were at a carnival. She called
at
her
a
out.
carnival.
No. She called her out. She called her out. She was like, "You have good energy," and she pulled her over, and then she went through all these negative
Really
things.
smart people.
And I was like,
very,
"Oh my gosh!" And
very smart people.
Everything.
But that's what they do, Kev. Is like that woman who told you that you had like a curse on your life. She was going to then say to you, "I can get rid of that curse. Pay me bucket loads of money."
And they do black magic, but you wouldn't believe it. Some of the smartest people have given insane amounts of money because they so desperately want love, or they so desperately want some project they're working on to happen, and they think if they give this money to this person that it's going to finally make it happen. I've helped people get a lot of money back, not because I've helped people get money back when it's very rare that would even happen. But it's so unfortunate. No one is governing that space.
She was charging $3,000 for candles.
Yeah. Well, also, I hope we learned her lesson.
Which we know the scent of the candles too. We learned that in part one.
The candles are cool.
Macy's summer is here. Heal Squad, and to make sure we're all set for our upcoming summer travels, we will be heading over to Macy's to make sure we have everything we need. If you're ready to start planning for that upcoming summer vacation and you need some inspiration on where to start, make sure to head over to Macy's. Excuse me, that's where I always screw this up. Make sure to head over to Maria's Macy's wish list using the link in the episode description. Let us know what you end up with. Huge fans of Macy's, and I think sometime this month or next month, we will be going there. Hopefully we'll broadcast live. It's the New York location, which is just my favorite. But go and if you're not going to go to Maria's wish list on her website at mariamenounos.com, then I urge you during this crazy summer heat wave we're experiencing to get to the mall, go into a Macy's. And, Dwayne, what do I like to get when I go to my mall visits? Can you name?
Yeah, your pretzel.
I get my pretzel, yes, and my drink, and then I go into Macy's, and I'm a happy man. Especially great way to beat the heat. Or in my 80s and 90s, thinking the mall is just a great way during the heat wave. If you don't have a pool, if you don't have AC at your house, go to the mall. Even bring the laptop, sit in the food court, do your thing. Dwayne, is it still a thing or no?
Yeah.
Young kids still go to the mall every now and again?
Oh, yeah.
All right, very good. All right, guys, head over to Macy's. Wonderful pistachios. Okay, when we have these travels, you guys already know that our carry-on luggage will be stocked with our favorite snack, wonderful pistachios. You know what, like they say in wrestling, Dwayne, it's living the gimmick. Mm-hmm. So, if a wrestler has a gimmick, they have their gimmick on camera, but when they live the gimmick, they live it off camera. See, we live the gimmick when it comes to pistachios because, as you know, Dwayne, I have them all over the house and I'm munching on them all the time. Salt and vinegar, my favorite. Maria's into the sweet chili flavor. But beside the fact that they're tasty, Wonderful Pistachios is one of the highest protein nuts. Each 1 ounce serving has 6 grams of protein, giving you over 10% of your daily value. So if you've been looking for the perfect snack, thank us later. Head over to wonderfulpistachios.com to snag a bag or multiple bags as we do. I do recommend the snack packs, getting a whole heap of those and then being able to have them in your backpack. Have them on the go, bring them to work, et cetera, et cetera. Wonderful Pistachios. I'll be jumping on a plane tomorrow or this week. And as always, I get them at the airport. A lot more expensive at the airport, but better to go to your somewhere local and get it and then hop on the plane with it. Anyway, wonderfulpistachios.com. Peace.
Thankfully, we did not pay for it yet. But
yeah,
Yeah.
Dwayne, can we just listen? Just
It's
all the
over.
20-year-old guys who work for me.
Over.
I go over this all the time on my Friday show. I'm sorry. I know it's during the week. I apologize, Yale Squad, for going all Friday on you. Dwayne, remember like in the Seinfeld, George Costanza, he started having success because he just went the other. He started doing the opposite. Just Dwayne, like just do the opposite and listen to me for just what? Let's just try it for fun. Let's just roll the dice and see what happens.
Anyone giving money to one of those people, you might as well take all your money and go run on the freeway and throw it in the air. And, that's basically what you're doing, is throwing your money away.
Rather take that money and go see Justine.
Yeah, I mean,
or you don't even have to, you don't even have to come see me. Spend it on yourself.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
But back to, what I would love to, not to like cut you off, but
No,
when we were
please, go ahead.
talking about the real estate stuff.
Yeah, I want to go back because I want to know more about this property.
And okay, so I was going to tell. So I've done a lot.
But tell me about the real estate. Yeah.
Well, I've done a lot of helping people sell real estate, whether it's a home that was on the lower end or super high end, and just for helping people know. You don't even, because we were talking about come see me, you don't even have to come see me. I actually, this healing work that I do, I put it into this little 15-minute download, and there are people all over that just listen to this download, and it's actually helped clean up and help them sell their home.
Really?
Yep.
And is this on?
It's on Psychic Girl. It actually
psychicgirl.com.
Yeah, and it stemmed from, I kind of have this great track record of helping people get over heartbreak very quickly, or helping get over,
yes.
Something emotionally.
That's the worst. Let's go with that.
Yeah, and so this healing that I started walking people through in each session, what people were reporting back, I started to be like, oh my gosh, like I recorded it really because I wanted to be able to listen to what I was doing for all these other people for myself. And then I actually ended up selling this, and it's what was featured in Goop and Drew. And so you can get that as well if you have a recent heartbreak, or even hanging on to a relationship for a very long time ago and feel like you can't move on. This little 14-minute healing, you just put it on and listen to it, and it is like taking a shower from the inside out of your relationship space. And people have the most incredible stories about it's rare. A lot of times people do this and they will hear from their ex, and sometimes people's exes do come back. Not that I am condoning that being great, but also helps people to create new relationships. But the greatest thing is helping people get out of heartbreak.
I think but also I have heartbreak over friendships.
Absolutely.
Right. So like it's not just
romantic. It's just relationships
but
in
it also
general. You get it.
It also can be work projects. You can have heartbreak over failure of something that you've worked on.
Well, again, that's the trauma we're holding on to from the experience in our bodies. And when we're able to release it out of our bodies, all of our bodies, is when we have freedom from it.
Okay. Now, can we talk about my property here? Because
sure, yes. Ask away.
Well, here's the thing.
That sad woman that we saw.
Yes. I feel like all my renovations, and I kind of feel like I've turned the corner, other than the old brick in the back I've done in the pool, but I'm just tapped out financially. I'm tapped out energy-wise.
Yeah. I do think I'm going to clear that woman for you because her energy's still here.
It's still here.
Yeah. You need to
That's the question.
Have someone who knows what they're doing.
Yes. No. All right. No, we need to move that on. Well, here's I'm very much up in the air about Los Angeles because
where else are you thinking of going?
Well, I don't. We have. I'm working on a house. My house I bought years ago in Connecticut, and a pipe burst there, water damage. Right, and there's a lot probably attached to all that place too. The people, very sweet couple, had it before. Got themselves into some trouble legally and financially. Lost the house. We bought it, but they lived on the street, and we all became really good friends, really good people. I feel like the same thing, the pipe burst there, even though I'd done a quick renovation to cleanse that whole place. And I mean, like that one, top to bottom, just bound to the studs. And it's been, I'm going back next week. It's been a grueling process of trying to, 2 years of being kind of yanked around by the contractors, and but we're close.
Do you want to ask a question about it? You can ask a question. Like, I don't even need that whole story.
Yeah.
I mean, when you were telling me that story, I was really looking at how beautiful you are, as like I kind of saw you for the first time here, as such like, there's just such a really beautiful energy to you. What do you want to ask? And really, the healer that you are, because you're a healer.
Regular guy healer.
You are, but I think that you haven't fully given yourself permission, which who would? It's scary to move into that. But what do you want to ask about the house? Give me a question. Don't tell me about it. What do you want to know about the house?
Well, so for that house, I guess, because I want to ask about this one too.
You can. I'm not
okay.
Going
So for
anywhere.
so for this house in Los Angeles, I'm experiencing a lot of career fun and magic being in LA.
Okay.
But we both would prefer for our baby, or we're thinking we'd rather be in a place that's a little bit more like a community.
So where are you thinking of?
We looked, maybe it's this house in Connecticut. I don't know, but it's so out in the middle of nowhere. It's a big farm area.
Yeah.
Maybe we could build a community there. I don't know. Or there's Florida, which everyone's gone to, but
I don't feel Florida for you.
Yeah,
it feels really heavy for you.
And when I went there, that's what it felt like. And by the way, talk about mold everywhere.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't get Florida for you. I mean, I do believe that staying in Los Angeles, when I look at you, is you've really you've done everything that you could possibly do here to feed your soul and feed your spirit.
Mm-hmm.
And it's at a point where, and in everything is about, and again, like this is about inspiring you. What I'm telling you is not about judging you or to beat yourself up, but I can see where it's painful for you being here. And like, even physically, it's painful for you being here because it's changed. It's not what it used to be. And so this energy, it's just kind of sharp. And I think you're waking up and doing it every day because it's something that you've known for so long. Mm-hmm. But it's like you really are just waiting for this green light or permission to be able to leave. And once that happens, it would be able to happen very quickly. So I do see you having this desire to
would my business still thrive? Because it's the people I meet here is incredible.
Yeah. And I think that you don't have to 100% leave, but I have
a building. I mean, I could
that's the excuse you're giving yourself of staying here and staying in it. It would be other things. You could do this wherever you go.
Well, because I see some of these others, I go to visit the town I grew up in, which I would never live there. But, when I go back and see friends, it's like I see parents with their kids, and it's, there's just this beautiful, safe community.
And why don't you do it you could say you're doing it for yourself. You're going to give it like a 3-year run and see how it goes. But I think it would naturally go longer than that.
Here's the fear is of if this unique property, and I'll take you around it. I've worked on it for 20 years.
Yeah.
I've again, I'll name drop some more, but I've had the names come to this house and be like, wait, how the hell do you have this place? Does Kevin sell drugs? No one wanted it because it was so run down. Everyone overlooked this place.
Well, ask what else you want to, ask what you want to ask about it.
I guess would I now it's like not a lot is selling, and I feel like I won't get I feel like it's going to get stolen from me because they're going to put up 3 houses here, and they're going to knock it down.
Your guys are just saying that's not true, and we would clean it up before. I'd do my
it is
before you sell it.
Before that. Oh, you clean it up because I've done all the cleanup I can
renting it out.
What about renting it out? No. Yeah, I don't get that either because it's my.
It just.
I'd let friends live here before I did that. I just don't feel right about that. You don't feel right about renting it?
It doesn't feel like you would find anyone you'd be comfortable renting it to, and then it's.
What about the scenario of keeping it and then just going to live in another place, but
That's
just
a possibility.
keep it so the value, for my daughter as an asset.
If you wanted, you could sell this and get what you want for it. It's your mind right now that is, judging it.
It is.
It's not what's, and I don't think you're able. There's a lot. We should probably do a full reading off camera. I'm happy to answer anything on here.
Yeah.
But I think that, if we did this whole reading would help put you in a place for you to, not be in the energy that is, the things that we tell ourselves, the way we control our environment. Like, oh my God, I've worked on this for 20 years. This has to be where I stay the rest of my life. All the things you're telling yourself that are making it stay safe and be okay and not be a waste and all of that. It's just how you're perceiving it right now. That could all change. And it could be that you get you get more than you think you're going to get for it.
Mm-hmm.
And that it goes to someone that you really love and that they're going to love it and that you stay friends with.
Yeah, that would be okay with, I'd be okay with that.
That you end up then having what you need to go turn the other place into what you want it to be. It's not all these pins that are.
So another question: what do you think of? I know Georgia, they're making a lot of movies, and I want to go down there. I'm with a great group of people down there who want to make holiday movies down there.
It feels painful to live there. I think you could maybe temporarily go and be there, but I wouldn't fully move there.
Right.
Yeah.
And what about this house I have in Connecticut? It is out in the middle of nowhere.
I like the energy of that. I mean, it doesn't feel like there's no one around you. It feels...
Yeah, and we're building more. I mean, Dr. Allison, who we met, who now does the show, is brilliant.
How cool. What if you did build your own community there?
Yeah, if anyone could do it, it's me.
I mean, that kind of feels like what you truly want, but you're not really giving yourself permission.
Dwayne said he would come.
Can I ask a question for Kevin?
Yeah.
Is there another place that Kevin hasn't mentioned that would be a good spot for them?
I'm not picking up on that.
That's the question, Natasha.
I'm not picking up on that, but you're welcome to ask.
Well, Maria loves El Salvador for a lot of. It's near the equator. The sun's very healing. The president.
It doesn't feel great to live there.
Doesn't feel great to me.
I mean, same as
visit, yes, but not to live
there.
No, I feel like I'd be too far.
You would just be so off your path living there.
Can I ask? So I've got little Bobo here.
Yeah.
Come here, buddy. Come here, my little baby. So Bobo's experienced. We've had Bobo I rescued him maybe about 2 years ago, and thank you. And he's experienced a little bit of loss with his mates at the house here.
Okay.
And now he's got our baby, and he seems a little he doesn't know his place. He seems lonely.
Give me a question you want to know.
Do you think Bobo is okay being with my daughter, or am I risking him being jealous and maybe snapping?
I don't see him snapping. I mean, he's gone through a lot in a short amount of time for him.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, the Therify would be wonderful for him.
For Bobo too? Yeah, we can do that.
You could take him and put him on, because he definitely, it's like he doesn't really know what's going on.
Yes, right.
And so we want to talk to him and let him know what's going on. Now look, this doesn't have to make sense, but he knows that the other dog is gone.
Yeah.
And then now you have the baby.
Right.
And so he is like every day, okay, this is going to be heartbreaking, but it's not real. So we have to let him know. He's actually afraid that he's next to go.
Oh.
And he's not. So we want to really let him know he's not going anywhere.
No, can you tell him he's going to save Christmas? I wrote Bobo Saves Christmas, his own movie. He's going to star in.
He would like another dog.
Oh, boy. Yeah. Well, you know what? That might be a family member who does have another dog. Do you think?
No, he would like another dog.
Here in this house.
It doesn't mean that you have to comply to that, but he's lonely. Like, you guys have the baby and have each other, and even though he's with you guys, he would like another dog, so he doesn't.
So it's funny. So Charlie and Chubby are two dogs I rescued, and my and someone who works for me, who's also family, took them. And they've just had a wonderful journey. When they come over, and they all love each other. I rescued them all together.
he wants a full-time partner to sleep with and to be with and to play with. It's like that he is happy, but that's not like partner material for him. He wants a dog that is going to be his buddy.
So someone who's part of my family has a little pug and thinks that and wants to take him and be with them, which means we would still see him, but he would be with them and this other person.
Well, no wonder why he's feeling like you're going to get rid of him. You're thinking of this. He's picking up on that. What?
Well, because he was so sad, so we
he I mean, to me, it looks like you would get. Do you want that to happen? To me, he's
no.
more.
Bobo's my guy. No, I don't give up on anything.
No,
my whole thing is too dumb to quit.
This is you finding another dog to be his partner here. You would break his heart if you sent him to be with other people.
Really? So that's not the answer?
That's like the first thing he showed me is like, I'm next. They're going to get rid of me.
No, we're not doing that, buddy.
Okay,
no.
So you need to
South Medford, we don't do that.
Yeah,
we stand by our people.
It's a dog that's like the same size. Finding a dog that's the same size. I don't know. Do you guys like? There's like a Lhasa Apso here. Do you like Lhasa Apso
We love
dogs?
them all.
There's
babies
like the
are babies,
and like a
you know.
Lhasa Apso here. It doesn't look like a pug or a Chihuahua. It's kind of like a
no.
Lhasa.
We always need something a little sturdier.
Yeah. I would do this sooner than later, and that's gonna help heal his heart. But no wonder why he was walking around feeling like I'm next.
Oh,
you guys have thought of he's heard that.
It's not you guys, it's me because I'm just worried.
No, he needs.
I just don't want him to bite my daughter, and I've had people warn me.
Well, you have the answer right now. He's not gonna do that, but he's sad and lonely and would like a replacement.
He wants a little buddy.
He wants a friend.
Interesting.
He's gonna be a much happier dog.
So I have another friend who, and by the way, it's a message for everyone during it's very hot around the country. And my friend had a 5-year-old dog named Lola who was running during this heat wave. And then next thing you knew, they couldn't find Lola. And when my friend went out to find her, she was by the tree and she'd passed away, 5 years old, probably had a heat stroke. And so my friend is so guilty and feels like I wasn't there for her in her last hours. And, I had my feelings on it. I'm not psychic, but I've had enough of leave me, and I've talked to enough psychics for when they do leave, what goes on. But is there anything coming to you about that? I would love to be able to share that.
Well, I mean, so first of all, give me your friend's initials.
Let's see, LV.
Okay. And the dog didn't want to do that, didn't want to pass in front of her. So like the dog,
that's what I said.
That's what happened. It looks like it's unfortunate, but there was something else additional other than just the heat that was happening.
Got it.
So where does your friend live?
New York.
Yeah. That dog there's some other issues going on there.
Right. And do you think maybe the dog had served her mission in the 5 years she was here?
I don't even see it that way. I mean, look, the dog's going to try to reincarnate, and there's something going on with this dog's liver. So
right.
Like the pushing the dog is which she didn't know.
Yeah, no one knew.
But right now he's going to rest and recover. And then, if we're lucky, sometimes animals can reincarnate into our same lives so that we get to experience them again. But that dog is going to take a little rest.
Got it.
Yeah.
At least for this episode, I want to end it on, I've got this network AfterBuzz TV. I've been on hiatus now for 3 years. And you've been over to the building.
Years ago.
Yeah, right?
7 years ago.
But then recently with
Natasha.
Natasha.
Yeah.
And I've done a lot of renovating there too.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel the difference now. It's Dwayne and I that are there. And I just feel like with what I've done there, the energy there as well feels really good to me. With that network, I keep getting pulled back into, do I go back into production or not? And I wanted to know what your thoughts were on, is it something I should do?
It like the beginning of what we were first looking at where your guides were saying you've kind of outgrown everything here and the kind of pins and pain and to me you're really giving yourself permission, like you would love to go move to Connecticut and build that community. And there's even something you can do media wise out of that, building that community and making that some kind of, that to me feels what is more feeding your soul versus rehashing. You've done that. There's nothing you can do there that isn't something you've already done that is making you grow. And you're very much about growing, right?
Yeah. I mean, with digital too, you can make, I could do
Could
it.
be anywhere.
I could do it anywhere. Specifically with, so I don't need to produce out of that building. I could certainly produce that out of Connecticut, but
Exactly.
but it's after shows for your favorite TV shows. But I don't watch as much TV. I still love TV, but I don't have time to watch it.
Wasn't it just was like this huge story in like the LA Times? The audience has moved on, So
Yeah.
I don't think TV's ever coming back the way that it
No,
was.
never. No, never.
No, so
I'll tell you that.
I
I
don't
know.
really see. That's one of these things about giving yourself permission to let go of. You probably don't want to hear that, but it just seems
No, I do want to hear
like
it.
you letting go of that is just creating another opening of you got to like empty the old stuff out to bring in what's new. It's taking up space that's painful for you.
We're looking at each other because someone was telling us about using elimination to evolve.
Look, we want to let go of everything that we can to get as free as possible,
Like Indiana Jones, let go, Indiana. What was one of those? It was number 3 where the father told the son. Yeah, he was obsessed with finding the cup, the Ark of the Covenant, or was it the cup? I forget what it was. But Indy became so obsessed, and the father said, "Let go, Indiana. We've got to let go." Okay, you guys, this was
Kev, I
amazing.
wanted to ask
Oh,
you
please.
before we close out.
Oh, go ahead.
Do you want to ask about Max? Or do you want to do that?
Oh, yes. So, no, I don't. He's an unhealthy dog, but he's on the mend.
Yeah.
But thank you for thinking of that. There is actually someone in my life. The initials are VS, and something just seems a little off.
Give me the question. Don't tell me about it.
Got it. Can the relationship between that person and who's in my life, be fixed? Right now, it's very strange.
Don't tell me about it, because then I'm not using my psychic
There
ability.
you go.
Right?
Okay. All right. Yeah. Well, I'm just giving it for the audience, to give it.
You can tell
but
them.
good.
Tell them after.
Okay,
so
I
that's
will.
the proof and evidence.
So yeah, can the relationship be fixed?
This feels very strained, and their backs are toward each other. They're very much going in 2 different directions right now, and it feels like there is something that has happened that isn't a slight thing. It's a pretty big thing that's happened here, and this isn't the first time. I mean, these people have karma. They've known each other before in a past life, and the same thing has happened here. This is not the first time something like this has happened, so it's very karmic. And right now it feels like it's best to let them go in their different directions. Maybe in some, it really feels to me like it's them going in separate directions and then not having a lot of energy on this anymore. So it's just kind of like over time that the party on the left isn't so bothered by it, and they're both just kind of like letting time go on, and there's just not a lot here where they have a desire to reconnect and make this be better. Like, this is something that's been going on for a long time, as in lifetimes, not just this lifetime. So it feels very much like they're going in 2 different directions.
Does a conversation feel right to you?
Well, what I just told you is very much the opposite of having a conversation.
Got it.
Right? And otherwise it would be like, these 2 need to come together and communicate. But they're not only are their backs toward each other, they've there's quite a distance already between them, and they're not seeing eye to eye. And one of them definitely see, this is the part where, as humans, we get so caught up in having this mental and logical explanation of A plus B equals C, when it's actually really not even the act that has happened right now. It's the energy behind it and what's happened before in past lives or whatever it's triggering. Energetically here, it is not a desire to rekindle here.
Okay.
But I am not God, and I am all about people having free will, and do whatever you need to do, because it's your life and you're going to wake up and be with you. I'm not. So you need,
And
I don't have to be right. I want you to get what you want.
No. And I'm always one who has believed he can outwill the universe. And as I've said many times, Well,
you can try to manipulate.
I am winless.
You can try to manipulate, and as many times as you want, try to do that. But at some point,
No, I agree.
you don't end up.
No.
It just takes you farther away from where you're trying to go versus, But that makes a lot of sense.
Anyway, thank you, Justine.
Thank you for having me. It's just so fun.
I want to continue the conversation. I want you to come back and be with my wife. And it's psychicgirl.com for a lot of the information you'll need. And then is it at Justine K, your Instagram?
It's very easy to, there's contact and everything's on my site.
We'll
Just
go
go
there.
to psychicgirl.com. It's very easy to find.
Well, until then, as my wife says, be nice people, make good choices, and stay present.
This podcast and all related content published or distributed by or on behalf of Maria Menounos or mariamenounos.com is for informational purposes only and may include information that is general in nature and that is not specific to you. Any information or opinions expressed or contained herein are not intended to serve as or replace medical advice, nor to diagnose, prescribe, or treat any disease, condition, illness, or injury, and you should consult the healthcare professional of your choice regarding all matters concerning your health, including before beginning any exercise, weight loss, or healthcare program. If you have or suspect you may have a healthcare emergency, please contact a qualified healthcare professional for treatment. Any information or opinions provided by a guest expert or host featured within website or on company's podcast are their own, not those of Maria Menounos or the company. Accordingly, Maria Menounos and the company cannot be responsible for any results or consequences or actions you may take based on information or opinions.